Ever heard of two guys who started with a $600 credit card, drove around scanning clearance racks, and ended up making tens of millions on Amazon? Yeah, sounds like a movie plot, but it's 100% real. This is the story of Dan Meadors and Dylan Frost, the duo behind the Wholesale formula, a system that's helped thousands break into Amazon sales without needing to invent anything, build anything, or even touch a single product themselves. Let's dive in. Before I start, if you're tired of scams and want a real solution for making money online, check out my #1 recommendation in the description below. Humble beginnings. Dan Meadors got his start the way a lot of scrappy entrepreneurs do, armed with hustle and a credit card. Just $600 on a credit card. That's all he had when he started selling on Amazon. No investors, no big break, just a willingness to hit the pavement, literally. He'd drive around the southeastern United States, rolling from one Walmart to the next. Not for groceries or deals on detergent. No, he was hunting gold in the clearance aisle. He'd scan barcodes using the Amazon seller app, trying to find products he could flip for a profit online. Eventually, he brought in his longtime friend Dylan Frost. Now, it wasn't just one guy hitting the road. It was a duo running what they later called retail arbitrage. They were basically scavenger hunters for profit, and somehow it worked. At one point, they were pulling in over $1 million a year in sales. But here's the thing about retail arbitrage. It's a grind. It takes time. It takes energy. And after doing it for a while, they realized this wasn't scalable. This wasn't sustainable. They were making money, sure, but they were burning out fast. Failures that built the foundation. Like many entrepreneurs, they weren't afraid to pivot. So they tried the next logical step, opening a retail store. But that didn't go well. Then came the idea of starting a Shopify store. And again, flop. Nothing took off. Next, Amazon private label. This is where you manufacture your own product and sell it under your own brand on Amazon. Sounded promising. Problem was, they didn't know enough yet. They hadn't mastered sourcing, branding, logistics. They didn't have the experience. And then, like many breakthroughs, the answer came from flipping the question. Instead of asking, what can we create to sell on Amazon? They asked, what's already selling well? And how can we get in on that? Reverse sourcing wholesale, the heart of the wholesale formula. Instead of guessing what might sell and then trying to invent it or find a middleman supplier, Dan and Dylan flipped the entire wholesale model upside down. Here's how it works. Step 1, they look directly on Amazon. That's right. They use Amazon as their research tool. They identify products that are already performing well. Things that have consistent demand, good reviews, and healthy margins. Then, step 2, they go straight to the source. That means contacting the actual brand owner of that product. Not some shady distributor. Not a middleman. The actual company that makes the product. They introduce themselves, explain what they do, and ask to become an authorized Amazon reseller. And here's the kicker. Once they prove their worth, maybe by improving a product listing, managing ads, or helping with logistics, brands often want to work with them exclusively. That's right. Exclusive contracts where Dan and Dylan become the only seller of that product on Amazon. At that point, they're not just resellers. They're the brand's entire Amazon presence. Big money and bigger impact. Some of these contracts are worth millions. One deal alone can generate 7 figures in revenue based on the volume and profit margins involved. Today, Dan and Dylan's business has done well over $30 million in sales on Amazon using this model. And what's powerful is that the work can scale. Depending on what each brand needs, it might involve optimizing product listings, setting up PPC ads, managing inventory, or sometimes doing almost nothing at all. Dan puts it best. It's really about what the brands want you to do and what they need. You could do a whole lot for brands, or very little, just depending on what makes sense and how much money you want to make. And yes, you can hire people. Dan and Dylan started with VAs and eventually built a team of high-level professionals who now run the day-to-day operations. What about beginners? Okay, but what if you're just getting started? What if you just want a side hustle and not a full-blown Amazon empire? Dylan answers that with a smile. Absolutely. It works for beginners. He gives an example of a board game they sell. Just one product. They updated the Amazon listing once. Ran a few ads. That was it. Sales doubled. The brand was happy. Dan and Dylan made money. And that deal's still going strong. Deals like that, low effort, high reward, are totally possible, especially once you learn the formula. The Wholesale Formula course, eventually, Dan and Dylan realized this model could help a lot of people. So they created a course, the Wholesale Formula, to teach it step by step. The program is designed to help you find brand deals, talk to suppliers, negotiate contracts, and scale your Amazon sales without touching inventory. But they didn't want it to be just another dropshipping or FBA course. Their vision? A system that actually supports small businesses instead of competing with them. As their sales page says, this unique system allows you to support small mom and pop shops so that you become the Robin Hood of wealth and still profit at the same time. And yes, it's an investment. The course costs $3,000. But for people who follow the steps and stick with it, the ROI can be life-changing. So what can we learn from Dan and Dylan's journey? For one, they didn't wait to be experts. They started with a credit card and some clearance racks. They failed forward. They pivoted. And eventually, they cracked the code by asking a smarter question. Instead of chasing products or building brands from scratch, it teaches you how to partner with existing winners. And once you do that, the sky's the limit. Before you leave, if you're tired of scams and want a real solution for making money online, check out my #1 recommendation. Click the link in the description to see the best business to start online, which made me over $26,000 last month alone. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews and honest insights.